Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan TheOrganizer. So, you're in luck today. We have a treat for you. We have Jeff here with Gyeon USA. He's the National Brand Manager.
Sir.
Jeff, how are you?
Thank you, Pan.
Welcome on the show. So we have something special, as I was saying, because we have pretty much the entire lineup of consumer-grade coatings from Gyeon. And what I want to do is talk to the specialist here to basically demystify what each coating does. More importantly, who is it for? Because we get a question often asked is, what is the best coating, right? But that is a very general term, and we're going to try and figure out what's the best coating for you. Of course, regardless of which one you'd pick, you're still getting an awesome product. Gyeon, by the way, you guys have won a lot of awards on my yearly car detailing products awards video. Top notch, I like to call them top tier brand in the coatings world because what they do is great. But let's go over the entire lineup. So we have Gyeon Can Coat, we have Gyeon 1, Gyeon Pure, Gyeon Mose, and last but not least, Gyeon Synchro. So what I want you to do is basically go over the entire lineup, say what they are, what they do, maybe who they're for, and also what the differences are in the formula. Some people out there believe that they're just rebranded the whole same thing, but they're all different.
Correct.
And if you can kind of guide us through, and by the way, guys, I'll leave the links to all of these in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So take it away, bring us through this awesome lineup that we have.
Thank you for the opportunity, Pan.
My pleasure.
As you mentioned, the Gyeon line is big and can be a little intimidating from a consumer perspective if you're kind of online and clicking through the website and everything looks kind of cool and there's videos on everything. So what do I use? And I think that's the crux of it, right? When you say, what's the best coating from Gyeon? Well, they're all great. And what does best mean to you?
Exactly.
You know, we're not in the business of producing bad products. We produce very intentional products. So 5 very, very different, as you mentioned, ceramic coatings in the consumer available lineup. And I kind of segment them into 3 groups. Can Coat in 1.
Okay.
Mose and Pure, and then Synchro on this end, and we'll go through the why of each of those things.
So 3 tiers, basically.
Yeah, I think so. And it's really based on, you know, where you are in this enthusiast detailing journey. You know, to see detailing and become as cool as it has, you know, in the last few years is really fun. From doing this as long as I have. So, you know, where you are you new to that? Are you really into waxes and sealants and you've never installed a coating before? Are you on your 3rd or 4th car with a coating and you're looking for a little more performance or a different feel? You know, are you a weekend professional, but you know, you might not want to be in to a proper program or into a full business and you're looking for something highly technical and that's what we really try to focus on. So
because you were let's touch about that in 1 second. Is although this is accessible to all consumers, it doesn't mean that professionals can't use them. Because if you're not accredited or an authorized installer, you can still go through this line and have professional grade results.
Yes, and many people do.
Absolutely.
You know, they just kind of want to get on with it and find a good product that works, and it's cool to see the industry evolve that way too. You know, where it isn't just these everything, you know, 7-stage paint correction and, you know, big warranties. There's a lot of value in just good products for a business.
So let's say maybe you've applied a wax or a sealant and you want to go up to the step as far as durability, hydrophobics, the self-cleaning properties, meaning that your car is easier to clean or maintain, and you've never applied a coating because a lot of people are scared of these glass bottles, right? But you shouldn't because these are easy to apply. We'll touch on that a bit later because it's the new Evo line. But where do we start off? So you're new to a coating, you want to have something cool, but you're kind of scared to dive into the dual, triple layer or glass bottles. So where does it start?
Or you want to keep the initial investment low, or hey, I'm looking for something that might last for a shorter time span in case I want to, you know, try something else next. So we start at Can Coat in 1. And these are 2 very, very different products. I think one of my favorite products in the line is Can Coat. Based on its versatility. You know, dollar per volume is pretty wild on that. It can be used on every exterior surface of the car. You know, paint, plastic, metals, engine bay plastics, you know, glass even, wheels. You know, it's just a great all-around product. And the key to that product is speed, right? So say you want to top up a coating, or you've only got a Sunday to work on it, or you're a mobile detailer who wants to just kind of rock and roll through stuff. Can Coat is very special, very cool carrier solvent. You simply spray coating into the towel.
You supply 3 sprayers in there.
And you treat it almost like a spray wax, right? You keep it moving quickly. That product will start to evaporate. You know, 6 to 12 month lifespan. Tons of gloss, tons of beading, but just fast and easy to use is the key to that product.
And this comes in this is a 6.76 fluid ounces or 200 mils.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can coat quite a lot of vehicles with this, right?
Tons.
Average size vehicles, how many are we talking about roughly?
Gosh, man, 6 to 8 easily.
So that's a lot.
You know,
Great value for money.
Yeah, tons. And then you know, if you get into layering or other surfaces, and it's also a great top-up, right? So maybe you've installed something a little more substantial in the line, and you're doing a big post-winter decon, and you just want to kind of breathe some life back into it. Can Coat is perfect for that.
That's one thing you're talking about maintenance. One thing I think is cool in all of your boxes, you have this kind of maintenance guide, because a lot of people say, okay, either you had it applied by your professional or you're applying a coating yourself. What do you do afterwards for maintenance? Because coatings, they're not magical force fields. They still need maintenance every now and then. And of course, people who watch the channel, they like taking care of their cars. So there's simple ways that you can use the rest of the Gyeon lineup, including wet coat, which I absolutely love.
Great
Spray
video.
on, rinse off. And this, as you say, is a great topper if you want to add that more durability, a little pop gloss, more hydrophobic properties, that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then this one here, do you have any application tips and tricks? There's curing time on this still, right? So you need to let the product cure without exposing to water or rain?
Yep, correct. You know, 12 to 24 hours is always ideal. Can Coat's going to be the fastest. It's got the fastest release carrier solvent. You're putting the thinnest layer of material on the surface. So yeah, overnight is always reasonable.
Okay, and what would you say, what is a one-word main feature of this one? If we're looking to compare them, what is the main selling point for Can Coat?
Fast.
So speed of application.
Yep, absolutely.
So then we're moving up to Gyeon 1.
Gyeon 1.
So what's this one, and what does it do?
So this is your next step, right? So we've got fast, we've got easy application. This is your first adventure into a slow, shoulder width, kind of methodical, overlapping pass where you want to deliver a ton of material onto the surface, and you're kind of installing a proper coating at that point. Right?
So resin delivered, solvent based, it's inside this glass bottle. So this is the first dive, let's say, in the glass coatings, more durability. How much are we looking at? Of course, it's all a question of maintenance. It's a question of your mileage, of course, what conditions it's exposed to. So there's many factors and variables to take into account. But however, in good conditions and proper maintenance, what is the approximate durability that people can expect?
One's designed for 2 years. It's at a great price point. It's super easy to install. If I was going to pick one word for that product, let's make it 2. I'd say easy gloss, because it's your real first experience of that kind of thick candy layer. You know, you're going after a lot of looks. You know, durability and performance, you know, can kind of go hand in hand depending on how you split the conversation. But this one's fun to me. You know, if it's your first kind of proper coating application, you grab a finishing pad, some primer, and drop a layer of 1. And just that wet, candy, deep, enriching gloss
that a lot of you guys love.
Pretty darn cool.
So when you're applying these, by the way, to remove confusion from viewers, some coatings have a rainbowing effect when they're flashing, so that oil slick on water appearance when it's time to level, or other ones do kind of a sweating effect where that's beating on the surface.
That's
so
all in the chemistry.
What does one do?
So you're going to get a rainbow effect, right? That traditional chemical flash out of a silica-based product.
SiO2, this one?
Correct. So that's what you expect, that rainbowing.
Okay, awesome. So then if a person wants quick and that little pop of gloss and candy-like effect, but simple way, this is a great first dive into the coating in a bottle. But then if you want to bump up the gloss level, because I know this one people love, if you love that candy effect, that's one thing I noticed and I told them about it, is Pure has always been one that people love if gloss is your thing, but correct me if I'm wrong. So what's this one about?
And a darkening effect.
Right? That jetting effect that we talk about?
You know, that big deepening of your reds, your blues, your blacks, they just get real full and
richer,
real dark, which is a really cool experience to see after you've put the work in. And this is going to feel like a proper coating. And what makes Pure special, right, and why the name is what it is, it's a pure, high-quality silica-based product with the highest concentration by volume that we can put and float within these solvents.
So it is different compared to one. So it's an SiO2, but a higher concentration of the solids.
Mildly different chemistry. Higher concentration by volume. You know, super easy wipe off with one, just to take a step back. You know, you put on a nice thick layer. I think that's probably the biggest thing if you've never done a coating before, right? You're hesitant, you're a little scared, you tend to put on less product because you go, well, if I put on less product, less bad things can happen.
Issues, less streaking, less high spots.
Easier to wipe off, and it's actually the total opposite, right? The more product you have on a panel, the more solvent you have to move this product around. the more time you have to work products into all the things. And all these are designed to be wiped off immediately. You know, they have longer install windows.
Yep.
So if you like that like full panel install,
yes,
I'm not a fan of that, but it's
Yep.
total personal preference.
Yep.
You can do it with Pure in one. But yeah, the feel of this is nice and easy. When you get into Pure, same smooth install, same easy wipe off, but you know you're putting on a proper layer of material. You feel
it.
kind of the thickness of that line going.
We're still getting the rainbowing effect with this
Yes,
one
sir.
as well.
Yep.
Durability approximately.
Yep, so 3 years plus.
Okay.
So
So we're getting up
with
there.
proper maintenance.
Yep.
And I tell people all the time, it could be 1 year, it could be 20 years.
Yes.
You know, all these products want to apply
Yep.
to the surface. It's
Absolutely.
what do we expose them to
Exactly.
once we're done, that kind of dictates that rate of decay of the layer. But these are designed for 3 years at Pure.
And these are both one layer coatings?
Yes.
So you apply one layer. Do you recommend a second layer? Is that even necessary?
2 is reasonable. When you
Okay.
start getting to 3 plus,
Yeah.
you're way into that diminishing return.
Okay.
They're going to do more than what you want them to do at a single layer. They're designed as a
Fantastic.
single layer coating, and that was a big step into the Evo
Yes.
evolution
Yes.
line of the coatings, is that we can get all the performance we want out of multi-layer stuff in a well-designed, well-purposed single-layer
Yep.
product.
So now that you're touching on Evo, before we move to the rest of the brand, so for those who are used to, let's say, Gyeon coatings from 5 or 6 years ago, you guys did a full revamp in early, well, you unveiled it in late 2021 in SEMA, but they
Correct.
were available to the public in
Yep.
early
Yeah,
2022.
quarter 1, 22,
So
we
we
got in
see
proper
all this
distribution.
Evo. So what is that? I'm guessing it's evolution.
Correct.
But what is the evolution?
Correct.
Why did you come up with that?
Yep, it was a complete rebuild of the coating line.
So everything is different.
Everything is different, start to finish. There's nothing lives in this line that lived in the previous iterations of the coating, which took us a while to do as Gyeon because the coatings were fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, Moe's has been around since the dinosaurs,
Staple.
and it just works, man.
Yep.
You know, we faced some challenges in the U.S. market, mainly around layering and our durability claims. You know, Gyeon has always been hyper conservative and very much believes in under promise, over deliver.
Absolutely.
You know, where we were putting 12 to 18 months durability on Moe's, but
lot of people
watching
were seeing
it,
a lot more than that,
man,
yeah.
5, 6, 7 years,
Yeah.
no problem. So it was hard to switch that, but we really wanted to focus on the user experience of the coatings. And it was as coatings were transitioning from a purely professional, purist, service-based thing into this DIY universe. And we really wanted to, create something for that DIY enthusiast. And, the crux of that is user experience.
Yes.
Easy wipe on, wipe off.
Yep.
Better price points, and instantly significant results. So that's kind of the theme of the Evo brand. But
And another thing that you guys tied in, which I see on the box here as well, is outdoor friendly. So although
Correct.
it's never recommended to work in direct flashing sunlight, but it's still, if you have to work outside and you're still in the shade
Correct.
or on a cool surface, you can now do that. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a controlled environment, right?
Yeah. And we didn't want to alienate that DIY enthusiast.
Yes.
All the marketing 5, 6 years ago, doctor's office clean studios and perfect lighting and big IR
Infrared
lamps.
curing lamps, yep.
And it's like, well, man,
Yep.
my garage at home, I would love to install a coating, but this doesn't feel in alignment.
Exactly.
So yeah, correct. Do you want to be in the sun with a 130 degree surface temp? No.
No.
But can you do it if the humidity is fluctuating a little bit, right? Or you started the project in the morning.
More forgiving.
100%. Yep.
Exactly.
And that's the user experience.
So then we're moving from SiO2. I think
Correct.
this one is a different formulation.
Correct.
This is like the star, of course.
Yes.
It's Moe's.
Yes.
So what is this one and what's in the formula?
Yeah, Moe's is the belle of the ball, and it really has become the workhorse. It's something we worked on for years as a technological advancement and differentiator in the industry. Where you're right, Pure, One, Can Coat, these are based on tried and true chemistries that we've had in the line for 10, 11, 12 years.
Yep.
Moe's was a real progression. And the key to this is it's a big word to chew on, but a fluoro-modified polysilazane.
Yes.
And fluorine isn't in it. It's not an infusion. It's not an addition to the product. But we've used fluorine to modify the silazanes in the precursor stage of the construction, which just totally changes the characteristics of a standard polysilazane coating.
There's a bit of that technology in your Q2 wax, right?
Correct.
Gyeon, there you
Correct,
go.
which was a
Crazy hydrophobics, yeah. If you
big
guys haven't
project.
seen those videos on my
Yeah.
channel, go check those out.
Yeah, wax will blow your socks off
Oh, yeah.
in a big way. But yeah, getting the fluorine, and we've always had fluorine in the line. It was a top coat base. We've had booster. You know, fluorine has always been kind of a part of the line because it really does add in a chemical way, not really a layering way. But man, what we're able to get out of a single layer, easy install, instant wipe on, wipe off, and then surface feel.
Slickness, yeah,
Slickness
that's one thing you notice right away when you apply this one.
Off the charts, which again is user experience,
Yeah.
right? Does slickness add incredible protection and performance characteristics? You can make all kinds of different arguments, right? Was it important to make slick coatings early on? Not really, right? Like these don't feel slick. They've got a nice surface feel, but they do their job really well.
Absolutely.
So when we're really focused on the DIY guy and they're washing that car and they're touching it and they're interacting with that car, I do think that surface feel is important. And the water behavior that comes with that is just bonkers.
And self-cleaning as well, making
Correct.
the vehicle easier to clean. One thing I like about this one, correct me if I'm wrong, but because Moz is also in the Synchro kit, which we're going to talk about, so you said one layer gives you about 3 years of protection, but you can, if you double the layer, then you can extend it to maybe 4 years, right? Or,
Maybe 4, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, double layer doesn't mean double performance.
Exactly.
Right? All these things, I think 2 layers is very reasonable, especially if you're at the house, you bought a 50 mil, you've got the material to do it and the time. So, and they're designed to go back to back. So you install all the way around the car, start your second layer immediately. Yeah, you don't have to wait 4 hours, 6 hours. It's ready to take the next layer. But
and with this one, I think you're getting more of that sweating or beading, and none of that rainbowing effect, right? So that's the difference. Because people sometimes they might apply a coating, they're expecting always rainbowing, but it depends on the chemistry, right, guys? So this one here, do you have any tips and tricks for the application?
Yeah, that is the wipe-off signal. So pure one, you could do the whole hood at once, right? You've got multiple minutes to go and remove that, and some guys like that in an install.
Very forgiving.
Moz, I like to work kind of shoulder width areas.
2 by 2.
Yeah, keep nice squares. Cut a door into 3. Keep the creep from creeping. But the removal signal is that sweat, right? You'll see a nice smooth layer go on.
It's kind of it's like it's beading on itself, right? Or like when you're sweating, if you're running outside, kind of that effect.
Very uniform line to start to bead. It'll happen within 10, 15 seconds, and you're ready to wipe off, and you feel that slickness.
Do you still recommend 2-towel wipe-off method?
Oh, yeah.
Your initial leveling and then buffing?
Okay. Two and even 3, especially with pure. If you're really getting a thick layer of material around, having a third towel and good lighting.
Always a good thing.
But yeah, 2 is just right.
And it's cool that we're talking about these because I was talking with the Gyeon crew that's here, by the way, and this comes again to say what coating is the best. Well, every person that I asked had a different coating in the lineup that they prefer. So it really comes down to what you guys expect, what you guys want for an effect. Do you prefer beading? Do you prefer slickness? Do you prefer ease of application? Do you want something that's very fast? So you can cater to basically anyone's needs.
Exactly.
And then at the last of the pack, and this is my personal favorite that I told the crew, is the Synchro kit, which is a double bottle. So if you want to basically touch on what that one is.
And this is staying true to Gyeon. Super high quality, very technical, cutting no corners, building a coating that does exactly what you want a coating to do. And we wanted to keep this in the line as a separate base coat, top coat chemistry.
So you have Moz as your base.
Correct.
So the same Moz that you can get separately.
Correct.
But you're adding the skin
on
as
top.
the top coat. So why would you be adding the skin on top?
Extended durability.
Okay.
Extended protection. Just take every performance metric that you want in the coating and crank it up a notch. And we did that to give your technical, experienced DIY guy, something as close to what we offer the professionals in our certified detailer coatings as possible. So whether you're a kind of part-time guy, weekend guy, but as you mentioned in the beginning, we've got full-time professional detailers that use every single one of these products in their business.
And so if you apply 1 layer of Moz and 1 layer of skin, you're roughly at 3 years durability claimed. And then if you apply 2 layers of Moz and 1 layer of skin, you're at that 4-year mark still, right?
Correct.
So you're getting that slight increase as well in durability.
But again, 1 layer of each is going to do
enough.
Oh man, more than you will ever want it to do. So you get the technology out of the fluoro modified polysiloxane. You get the bond to the paint, right? That's what is connecting to the paint. You switch chemistries here, back into the silica realm. A very, very different.
So polysiloxane modified fluoro with this one, and then you say SiO2 with that one.
Correct. Okay. And you're going to get that darkening effect. You're going to get that intense gloss, but you're going to get you're tapping back into chemical resistance. You're tapping back into durability. water behavior, it's become hard, right? Because they are so different chemically, but they are all so good in their own right. And we do, guys at the office have something different on every car.
Okay.
And we could argue at lunch,
Absolutely.
every day about.
So let me throw you a curveball and ask
Sure.
you a question. If somebody out there is really, because a lot of people are like me, even though we like water sheeting, right, to remove the sheet of the water and prevent any water spots, a lot of us still like the appearance or visuals of pure water beading.
Sure.
Which one in the entire lineup gives you the best water beading effect?
Sure. So you're going to get more sheeting out of skin, but that's not to say it doesn't bead like crazy.
Yep.
Right? Everything in this line is going to give you nice, high, and tight water beads.
Yes.
It's what's important is what does that bead do once it's high and tight, and that's I think really where Moe's shines.
Okay.
You get that drop off the door. You get this crazy high tight water bead, but the slickness gives you the evacuation.
Yep.
That is tangible. You wash in the car, you spray that door, you see that just kind of fall straight off.
Yes.
Where these three silica based will bead like crazy. During the wash process, the water just moves in such a cool way off the car. But if I want evacuation, right?
So the
Moe's.
less water left on the surface,
Correct.
Moe's is the one.
Yeah.
And then somebody who wants those beads on the surface and wants just that beautiful angle, maybe can code. It's a killer, right?
We could argue for 6 months
Absolutely.
about what.
So another question that I have for you is, a lot of people are scared with ceramic coatings. They talk about water spotting issues, especially in the older days or the first generations. They were more prone to water spots.
Sure.
So where is the Gyeon lineup as far as that, and should they be doing anything to help prevent water spots?
Yeah, and that's become a misnomer, right? Is because, and the biggest fear, while I'm putting on this long-term protection,
Yes.
the biggest danger is really, water spotting. It's like, bird droppings and that type of thing, but what your car encounters the most is water, whether it's rain, sprinklers, or anything else. What all coatings are designed to do is give us more time to evacuate that contaminant than you would have out of bare paint, a wax, or a sealant. So every coating on the planet can water spot, and you're gonna have different mineral content from rainwater to sprinkler water to Denver mountain water to Florida beach water. So they all perform fantastically. I would say the silica-based stuff is gonna slightly edge out what Moe's is designed to do in terms of chemical resistance that isn't really isolated to water spots. But yeah, I mean, the goal is get that contaminant off quickly.
Regular washing and frequent washing, and if ever, for example, you let it go for a few weeks, there are chemicals that you guys have, the water spot remover, that can help alleviate that, but regular maintenance is key to prevent anything,
100%.
right?
Yes, sir.
Even bird droppings, whatever is left on your vehicle, the longer it sits there, especially if it bakes in the hot sun, well, all that mineral content, or if we're looking at bird droppings, they're often acidic in nature. Your minerals in the water, once that water evaporates, leaves minerals behind, they can start etching through the clear coat, and if they're left unattended, they can leave permanent damage. So regular maintenance is key.
Yes.
And talking about maintenance, how simple is maintenance with all of these coatings? Because you can use the same maintenance products regardless of which one you have, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's, we have a core maintenance line.
And I see a few that I really like. So
Wet
wet
coat
coat,
is-
spray on, rinse off,
Yeah,
right?
wet coat's a cheat code. Bathe is your everyday wash soap, right?
Yes.
It's designed around lubrication, and you feel it, man. And as you're moving the washman across the panel, we're trying to limit friction, which limits marring.
Yes.
Bathe is amazing for
I
that.
featured it, by the way, in my 15 favorite car shampoos. This was one of them in there.
Yeah, good fun.
The ceramic detailer was featured in my most glossiest spray-on products. So this is another great, right?
Fun product.
Used as a QD at the end of your wash process, maybe a drying aid as well.
Correct. Yep.
And then your wet coat, spray on, rinse off.
Yeah.
This for speed, number one place for my favorite spray on, rinse off sealant. Why? Because it's that easy.
Yeah.
But more than others that I've noticed in what I like about wet coat the most is the self-cleaning capabilities.
Yes.
The vehicle not only looks cleaner than the rest in the parking lot when they're all dirty, yours will always look cleaner, but it's much easier to wash during your maintenance washes when you top off with this. And I mean, spray on, rinse off, you do the whole vehicle in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So whoever wants speed, wet coat is good, eh?
And our tendency is to overuse this, right? It's just fun, and you blast the panel with it,
no,
but
it's too much.
Man, 2-3 spritzes on a hood, and I like to just kind of dance the water upwards, and you see that immediate beating, and every surface, right? Wheels, glass, paint,
plastics,
perfect
headlights.
for trim. It's just this is hard.
If you want to see it in a
beat.
demo, go watch the video that I've done a few weeks ago on this. It is a very good product. So also, one last thing I want to touch on. For the microfiber towels.
Yeah.
So there are some that come, well, you have the applicators in the kit.
Correct.
But what would you recommend? Because I see these new Evo packs. So you guys have updated your microfiber line as well.
Yes.
What would you recommend for the leveling towel and the buffing towel?
Tons of personal preference here.
Yeah.
My favorite is bald wipe for coatings.
Yes.
Regardless. So I tend to have 2 bald wipes handled.
Yep.
So our 3 core towels are bald wipe, soft wipe, and polish wipe, right? So your bald wipe is your tight knit,
It looks kind of
short
what's
fiber.
on the applicator
Correct,
here. Yeah.
correct. Hyper absorbent, and you get a lot of feel under the panel, which I like.
Yes.
Polish wipe is primarily designed for polishing, and it has that tight knit fiber on one side, and then a more plush fiber, great for removing polishing oils and waxes. And then the soft wipe is our kind of long fiber, hyper absorbent. So for coatings, I tend to have 2 bald wipes and a soft wipe on hand at all times. I'm doing my kind of precision wiping with my 2 bald wipes, and then I'll hit the panel just one last time with the soft wipe just to really pop up any excess material.
Fantastic. Guys, I think we got all the info. Hopefully we helped to demystify all of this. So regardless if you're looking for speed of application, if it's your first coating that you've ever applied, you want a little more gloss, a little more durability. If you're looking at pure candy gloss effect, if you're looking for slickness and that water behavior that will sheet the water and evacuate it a lot quicker, and you're looking for more durability, or if you want the ultimate as far as long-term durability is concerned, with that top coat as well, that will give you ultimate water beating, water sheeting, gloss, slickness, jetting effect, regardless. Guys, dive into the brand. You can start with something simple and then move up as you want. And they have the entire maintenance line as well. They make things very simple. So thanks for all the information.
Demystified.
Absolutely. Hopefully you guys love this. Again, I'll leave the links to all of this stuff in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. And in the meantime, guys, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and we'll see you on the next one.